Hello guys, this is Octavius from North American Archery. Thank you so much for tuning into our channel. Today I want to talk to you about how to match arrows to a traditional bow. How do you match the spine? How do you cut them? How do you do the things that you need to do when you're getting started in traditional archery? Now if you're a seasoned pro, you may know every single thing I'm about to tell you. Some of you may think you're a seasoned pro and you might pick up a couple things as well, but a lot of you are beginners and you need every single step that I'm going to give you on how to match an arrow to your traditional bow. Now you can see that it's raining and you can probably hear that it's raining on the camera because I'm actually at Pine Knob here in Indiana, and it's my very first time being here because they have a 30 target 3D course here. And especially for me and many of you, every time you hear of a 3D course, you want to go shoot it because you know you enjoy it. Now, I picked the day that it's raining. So I'm getting rained out, so I figured, hey, I'm going to do some videos, and that's what we're going to do today while we're waiting on the rain to pass. So I'm going to give you 10 steps on how to match an arrow to your traditional bow. Keep in mind, I am not talking about if you're going to bear shaft tune. I'm not going to talk to you about if you're going to try to get to the place where you want to do paper tuning, all those different things you can get into, fletching your arrows. I'm not talking about those things today. I'm talking about how to match your spine, how to get the correct weight, how to get started in this arrow, the perfect arrow pursuit for your traditional bow. Number one is you need to measure your draw length. On a traditional bow, you're going to have inches and poundage stamped on the limb. My bow says 60 pounds at 28 inches, but I have a 29.5 inch draw length. So that would mean that I am pulling past the 28 inches, so that poundage on my bow is going up. So actually, if I really get to the point where I'm short drawing, maybe I will do the 55 pounds. Because actually, excuse me, this is a 55 pound bow at 28 inches. But with me, it's 60 to 61 because I'm going past the 28 inches. So I know that because I measure my draw length. So you, as a traditional archer, need to measure your draw length, and I have a video on the channel outlining how I measure my draw length. So my bow, to cover it again, is at 28 inches. It is 55 pounds. So that is not necessarily going to be your draw length. You're going to have to measure it first in order to achieve that, and go to the channel. I'm telling you, there is an easy way to do that if you don't know how. Number two, find out your draw weight. Just because this bow says 50 pounds, or 55 pounds, I should say, it doesn't mean that that is what I'm going to be pulling. I'm pulling 60 to 61 when I put it on the scale. So that means that that is my draw weight. So I got to determine my draw length and my draw weight. Number three, determine the length of the arrow. How long do I want my arrow to be? Some people want to do gap shooting, some people want to string walk, and sometimes they leave a full length arrow in order to achieve this. I cut my arrow at least a ½ inch to an inch past my draw length. So this particular arrow that I'm shooting this year for deer season is 30 inches from the nock all the way to the insert, okay, the end of the insert. So that gives me a ½ inch past the riser so that I am safe with the broadhead that I'm going to be shooting. So for you, you need to determine what you're going to do. Usually, rule of thumb, if you're going to cut your arrows, 2 inches to a ½ inch is going to work for you. If you're going to keep them full length, that's because you're going to gap shoot or you're going to string walk. Number four, purchase a grain scale. Very important to purchase a grain scale in traditional archery. And the reason why is it'll give you the opportunity to measure the weight of your arrows in grains. Three Rivers Archery provides grain scales that you can purchase from 20 to 30 bucks. I bought mine there years ago, and it works wonders. That way I can get the right grains per inch on my arrows for hunting or whatever I'm going to be doing with that arrow. Number 5, choose an arrow manufacturer. I go with gold tip traditional arrows. I've been shooting those for a very long time. I've shot other arrows, but I usually pick one manufacturer per bow, and I will tune my arrows to the bow, and I'll keep running those for years because it's very simple for me to keep up on my tunes. So you need to pick a manufacturer, use their scaling. They'll tell you what spine you need to use. They'll tell you what length that you need to go with. They will tell you if it's a long bow, a recurve, a compound bow. They will instruct you on what you need to do based on the chart that they provide as a manufacturer. So you want to choose a manufacturer and stick with them for a little bit. That way you can get used to what it means to choose an arrow for each one of your bows. Then you got number 6, select the correct spine on that chart. For me, it's a 340 spine. Can I shoot a 400? Yes, but it's a little weak. And so your spine is important because when you shoot your arrow, it is going to flex around your riser and then go back to the target. So it's going to go around the riser, this riser right here, just like this, okay? And it's going to go back, it's going to have to flex around this riser like this, okay? And then it's going to go back to the target, okay? I'm illustrating that very simply because in other videos I probably will explain it a little bit more on archer's paradox and stuff like that. But right now I'm just trying to say that your spine is important because it has to flex properly in order to have the proper arrow trajectory. Okay, so for me it's a 340. I need a very stiff spine because I shoot a higher poundage bow. So I usually don't shoot anything less than a 400. I don't ever shoot 500s because most of the time with my draw length and the poundage of most of my bows, I'm shooting a 400 spine up to a 300 spine at times. So you need to find the spine chart, like I said, and find your spine that you need. That way you're ahead of the game. Number 7, understand FOC and choose inserts, field tips, and broadheads accordingly. You gotta, mosquitoes. You got to understand FOC, which FOCs means just front of center. And what it means is that your insert and your field point is going to be heavy in the front. That way it can pull your arrow through the air to what you're trying to hit. It's very essential in traditional archery to have a good FOC. You can have over FOC front of center and you're going to get tail high or knock high, and you need to have it flat, so you don't want to overdo it. If you get to the point where you're so heavy that you're going to have to literally put your finger 3 inches from the front of the broadhead, then you know you're too much FOC. Number 8, select arrow weight that matches you and your goals. So if you have a 60-pound bow like I got, I need at least a 600 grain arrow. Hence, I have 640 grain set up right now. So for me, if I want 10.5 grains per inch right now on my arrow, I literally had to go up to 640 grains. Take 640 divided by 60, it gives you 10.5 grains per inch. And so you want to make sure that when you measure your grains on your arrow, that you're hitting about 10 grains and up for your hunting setup. But if you want to go target practice, yeah, you can go 8 grains per pound, no problem. But in my opinion, even though that's a very efficient arrow, it's a little light to go out hunting with because most people don't have good shot placement, and you're gonna need all the help you can get to make sure you get pass-throughs on the deer, the hogs, the elk, and the moose you may be hunting. Then you got number 9, glue in inserts and fletch arrows with impact glue. I don't have any impact resistant glue, or impact glue I should say. Gorilla makes it. It's a blue cap. I fletch my arrows with it. I glue my inserts in with it. Everything that I ever do to an arrow, I use Gorilla impact glue. And it's made for impacting something and it won't fall off. A lot of your Fletch's glue, a lot of your insert glue, all these things that the archery companies make, they're not as good because they're not rated for high impact. So you want to get a good high impact glue to glue your inserts and your fletchings on your shafts. Then you got 10. Shoot these arrows until you have a good shot process and consistent release. The reason why you want to do this, guys, is because I believe that the best way to get started with your arrows is to get fully fletched arrows from Three Rivers Archery or your local archery shop. Have the correct spine when you buy them and cut them to a length at least a 1/2 inch to 1 inch to 2 inches, I should say, 1/2 inch to 2 inches past your riser, because you know your draw length. And make sure you tune them. Make sure they're flying correctly, okay? And you're good. I wouldn't get too caught up in bare shaft tuning because most people's release, even the guys and gals have been shooting for years, most of our releases are not good enough for bare shaft tuning. I've seen too many people say I bare shaft tune stuff, and then I see them bare shaft. I can tell their release is not that great. Their form breaks down. They're inconsistent in their approach. There's so many different things that are wrapped up into that, but they want a bare shaft tune to be like guys and gals that have been doing it for years. You're better off going to your local archery shop or just calling up Three Rivers. I'm blessed that I'm in Indiana. I can just go to Three Rivers in Ashley, Indiana. It's not far from my house. And go to them and say, hey, listen, this is my setup. I got a 45-pound bow. I want to have at least 10 grains per pound on my arrows, and I want to shoot this type of broadhead, so on and so forth. What arrow spine do I need? And they will tell you what arrow spine you need. You double check that on the arrow manufacturer if you want to make sure that they're telling you correctly. Usually Three Rivers will tell you that. Other archery shops I've been to don't have a clue. But the point is that when you get that information, you then cut your arrows to the specific length that you want them, and then you're ready to go. And then you shoot them, and you're going to cut off 1/4 inch and keep cutting 1/4 inch off as you go until your arrow is flying correctly. So guys, arrows are such a hot topic in the traditional archery community because everybody has a different method. But I shot just off-the-shelf, fully fledged arrows for years and didn't have a clue about FOC, didn't have a clue about tuning arrows, and was harvesting animals. So I know for sure that with this information right here is all you need to be consistent as you're getting started, or if you're having a hard time bare shaft tuning your arrows to the bow you want to shoot this year. So guys, I hope this video helps. Thank you for everything that you do. Thank you for being patient with us because we've been on the go, hard to make videos, trying to do the best we can to get this channel moving forward. But I appreciate your likes, subscriptions, continue to turn on your post notifications, and remember this, you don't have to get ready when you stay ready. All right guys, we'll talk to you soon.